Surds. Whenever people hear surds, they think about this. I mean, yeah, this is surd. But a surd is basically an irrational number expressed in root form. So, let's break it down. An irrational number is a number that can't be expressed in simple fractions, meaning you can't write down the number as a fraction. They are basically numbers that can be written down in decimal, but those decimals cannot be written down in fraction. There are special kinds of decimal numbers that do not end, meaning they go on and on and on and on to infinity. So if irrational numbers can't be expressed in simple fractions, then how can they be expressed? Well, it turns out that some irrational numbers can be expressed in root forms. Forms like square root of 2 and square root of 5. And that's basically surds, irrational numbers expressed in root form. So why are we doing this? Let's take two surds, root 2 and root 5. Let's try to add or multiply them together. If they were fractions, we could, but they are not. We could say we should turn them into decimals, but they are irrational numbers, meaning they do not end. So that does not apply. So how do we do anything with surds? Because they are numbers, we have to do something with them. Well, that's why we're here. Just to learn how to add, subtract, multiply, or divide weird numbers, I guess. And there are like 5 rules that could help us. The first tells us how to multiply surds. Root A times root B is equals to root AB. Second talks about division. Root A over root B is equals to root A over B. The third tells us that root A times root A is equals to A. Basically, the square of root A is equals to A. The fourth is about addition or subtraction. M root A plus N root A is equals to M plus N root A. The fifth is all about rationalization, which I'll talk about in the next video, if there's a next video, I guess. Now let's apply the rules. Let's take an example. Root 2 times root 3 is equals to root 6, according to the first law. Example 2, root 6 divided by root 3 is equals to root 6 over 3, and that is basically equals to root 2. Example 3, root 2 times root 2, which is basically root 2 squared, is equals to 2. Example 4, 5 root 2 plus 7 root 2 is basically 12 root 2. But sometimes you have to simplify these surds for some reason. Simplify basically means turning the surds into their simplest form. 32 is 2 times 16, so root 32 is equals to square root of 2 times 16, and that's equals to root 2 times 4 squared, and that's equals to 4 root 2. Now with all that we've learned, we can take a really hard question. Look at this now. It looks nothing like the other examples, but at the same time, it is. Root 28 is basically root 4 times root 7, and that's 2 root 7. Root 448 is root 64 times root 7, and that's 8 root 7. So the fraction becomes 2 root 7 minus 8 root 7 over root 7, and that's equals to minus 6 root 7 over root 7. Root 7 cancels root 7, and that whole complex fraction is just one number, and that's 6. Yeah, that's the basic of surds, basically. There will be a part 2, maybe, but if you love this video, you can like and subscribe, and comment if you really want more of this kind of videos. See you later, I guess.